It's the TeTas. Yep.
Going on another episode. It's been quite a week. Got a lot to.
Quite the week for sure.
How you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
Hey, I'm hanging in there.
Everybody's got the neurovirus apparently nowadays.
I didn't get that Chit. It's not coming out of both ends. It's only coming out of my nostrils.
It's just been brutal. So what do we got going on? We got it's been quite the week. I think we had some shows that all three of us went to, right?
Yeah, we did. We had a few of them actually over the last couple weeks. Clark, there was a show in Clark. There was a show in Marlboro. These are New Jersey shows, and of course the Philly show.
Serge, how was the Clark show?
So I did I was set up at the Clark show, 2 tables. It's actually it's really good. The one thing they do that's nice compared to other shows that free admission. So quite the variety. Pokemon, you had some soccer, you had and then most guys had multi-sport. But yeah, it was really good. You got to see some people that you didn't expect to see there show up, which is good. It means that there's good spread of awareness. The promoter did do a good job promoting it, and I think it was a good turnout. Had 2 6-foot tables, reasonably priced, and they already announced the next show is going to be on May 10th. So,
damn.
Yep, they're also this is also going to be multi-sport, but they're working on doing an all soccer show, which I know is has been discussed in the past, and I think would be good for that community.
Nice.
Yeah, they're a big soccer guys, so I can see that probably working out for them. Is Ronaldo going to be there?
Not Cristiano Ronaldo. I think Paulo Ronaldo, maybe.
Some guy named Ronaldo.
I don't know if he was one of the backup players for the Red Bulls.
I'm actually, believe it or not, my wife is cousins. Well, kind of like one of those cousins that's like kind of far,
Distant cousins.
like distant. With Carlos Menz, used to play for the Red Bulls. I don't know if you remember him, the center.
Yeah.
He lives in Mineola. He's cousins with my wife's cousin's cousin.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It never makes sense when you go beyond
They
the
may
first
not
cousin.
be real cousins, but they're kind of cousins.
Yeah.
So thought that was interesting. Probably get him to do a show. I think I actually think he was the head coach for the New York Cosmos in the U.S. whatever that's called. It's like there's like a soccer league, like the North American Soccer League, NASL or some shit like that. The Cosmos kind of revamped and went into that league, and he was the head coach for them. So I figured that'd be a little bit interesting.
See if he wants to come on the show.
I don't know him like that. I've talked to him like once or twice, but I can try. Let's see. He's currently serving as the head coach of the United States Merchant Marine Academy Women's Soccer Program. So I guess he got fired from the Cosmos.
Damn, that's a mouthful.
Yeah. But yeah, look him up. Carlos Menz. He's on Wikipedia.
The only U.S. soccer player I'll ever know is Tony Meola.
Tony Meola. Yes. Bruno, you should tell the story about what happened with Tony Meola. I always thought that was cool. That's how we kind of got started with this.
It kind of gave us a little like inspiration. I guess you'd call it that, or excitement about the hobby. But we basically, when we were little kids, we had our cards or whatever, and we were just kind of, it was whatever. We had our trading cards, right? So I don't know if it was me or if it was you. I feel like I had a book.
Yeah.
I had a magazine or a book, because back in the day, those magazines, or I think they were magazines, some of them used to have like addresses of where to send your stuff to.
Yeah.
To potentially get signed or to the players, but who knows where it went, right? So what we were doing is we started going through that and seeing if we had anybody in our, in our sets that we could potentially send this stuff to. So of course we, put together a bunch of letters and stuff like that, sent it all out. Nobody responded except one man, Tony Miola. So,
pretty cool.
Yeah. So I forgot what we sent, but we definitely got an autograph back. I definitely lost that jet.
Yeah, we didn't send anything in particular. We just sent a letter asking for an autograph that he sent back. It came in a PWE, right? In a yellow envelope. It was just his picture with his signature. So that was pretty cool. It was really cool. I was excited when I got it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of players that actually, a lot of celebrities that actually do that. They call it through the mail, TTM.
Yeah, TTM.
There's an acronym for it. And you guys probably saw the story of that one guy that invited Michael Jordan to his wedding. You guys probably saw that. It was all over social media. He didn't show up, but he sent the letter, and I think he sent I couldn't remember if it was like an autograph or something, like "Wish you guys well" or.
That's cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember specifically the one autograph we were trying to get, and Bruno especially, was Ken Griffey.
Yeah.
So I remember Bruno sending like a card. Well, it was probably like a 95 Upper Deck card or something. Nothing crazy, right?
Yeah.
And I guess it got lost in the mail.
Definitely never made it.
Because it never came back. But yeah, Tony Miola was the only one that came through.
The only one.
And hey, big name. He was a goalkeeper for the U.S. soccer team.
Yeah.
Like, it's nothing to be upset about.
As a matter of fact, I think because of that, it kind of motivated me to buy a jersey or ask for a jersey. So I ended up buying a Metro Stars jersey because of it. Just for that, Sometimes that's all it takes with kids is you get a guy who just kind of puts in the time to either write back or sign something for you, and that's it, man. Then you got a fan for life.
You get that a lot from I follow a couple accounts that do that stuff. Usually it's younger kids. But you get that a lot from baseball prospects. Like they're the ones that have a little bit more time. And
yep, usually the shit ones.
Well, to Bruno, they're all the shit ones.
Yeah, they all have time. I mean, they spend so much time just getting ready to bat.
Put me in, coach. Put me in.
Not now. The amount of autographs they make these prospects sign is ridiculous.
God. That's true.
Got a product that just released called Panini Prospect Edition. I can just imagine how many autographs is in that set.
I mean, it's 6 per box right off the bat.
Exactly. And 5 of them are probably guys we'll never hear from again.
Yeah.
Only 5?
Yeah, you might get you'll get 1 per box. That's a decent prospect, I'm assuming.
Oh, you're talking about the 5 out of the 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Better than nothing.
But you guys at the Philly show, I got to join you guys on Sunday, which was pretty nice. I wish I was there. I know it was a madhouse on Friday and Saturday because they had a lot of this. Actually, most of the Super Bowl winning team was there signing.
Yeah, Philly was hot this weekend. I mean, it was busy. I've never once gotten to the convention center, before the show, obviously, to set up, and had to find parking as a vendor. I mean, it was packed, which was wild. And then, of course, when the show started, an hour into it, 2 hours, like, I've never seen so many people at that show. It was really good. A lot of foot traffic, a lot of people. For us, it was really good. A lot of people buying, easy deals. I think we had maybe 2 trade-up challenge requests.
It's not bad, considering how many people.
Yeah, so it was very good. I definitely enjoyed it. You had Jalen Hurts on Friday. That was a big one that drew in a ton of people. People were saying, "Oh, I tried to get a ticket for him, but it sold out within like minutes."
It was sold out by the time I saw the post. which I couldn't believe that he was actually going to be there. As soon as I saw it was sold out.
Yeah. So, I mean, he was a big one. Cooper DeJean was there. That was another big one.
Sirianni,
Big Dom,
Howie Roseman,
A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
Howie Roseman was there. Can we talk about a GM being at this freaking thing?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't... I was surprised. The biggest surprise to me was Howie Roseman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was very, very good. It was, I mean, it was like it was perfect because of the fact that they won. You know, everything fell into place. It was perfect. So
we did that show together back in December. And I know in December you guys had asked me if I wanted to do it again. My thought process was, it's going to be after the Super Bowl. The card market for football usually dips around that time. Not expecting, obviously, I'm glad they did. Not expecting the Eagles to make it all the way to the Super Bowl and win it. But obviously I had big time FOMO. On Friday, I felt it really hard. And on Saturday, when I was at the Clark show, I began having it as well. But then as the show progressed and realized how good of a show it was, I didn't feel as bad. But then I was there for Sunday morning. And even for a Sunday, same thing. Usually when we pull in, we have parking right by the entrance. And this time we had to park all the way in the back. So,
yeah.
There was also another event going on next door where they have the entrance for the autograph signings. It was like plushies, like little kid plushies.
But usually, Sergio, you have another event there.
Yeah.
They usually do. And we don't notice it because, like, all right, this parking, it's fine. But every time I've gone to the Philly show, there's always another event.
But in not that wing. I know December, I couldn't speak for the other ones because I didn't pay attention. But I know in December that entrance was, because they actually had that door open for entrance into the Philly show as well. They had the two. So I know for the last one they didn't have anything. No, but I wanted to ask you, Kev, as far as, because I was expecting maybe baseball to be a big seller, but everyone was wheeling and dealing football from what I saw.
Nah, baseball was huge.
Was it?
Yeah. Like, I went in there. And again, I wasn't there on Friday. I had some stuff that I was doing, but I got there Saturday. I've never experienced a Friday where we've sold so much stuff. And so Bruno can talk to that.
What would you think it was like the Fanatic show?
It's a different show, right? I feel like because Philly, I always knew I was going to sell baseball because it's baseball season. You know what I mean? I always thought, I was like, all right, there's going to be plenty of baseball moving. I'm not going to have a problem moving that stuff. Fanatics was different because Fanatics was just, you had different people. You had a different crowd, right? You had a crowd where it was like, it was the first time they did it. They promoted the hell out of it. You knew there was going to be a shit ton of people there. With Philly, you kind of almost know what to expect every time you go. Like, in March, it's going to be a baseball crowd. What's the next one?
September is football.
September is going to be that football crowd. And then December is that football, baseball. A little bit of football, basketball, a little bit of baseball. But the March show is always big with baseball because it's the prospects, and that's what I usually do is I do a lot of prospecting, so I'll always have the first Bowmans and all that. So I always knew that my baseball was going to move. I just didn't expect it to move so well.
Plus, you have spring training too, so
yeah, it's spring training. So everybody, the prospects that are playing in spring training, they're moving well, even though they might not make the big league roster. They're still going to move because they're in spring training. You know what I mean? So people are hyped on them. So, but yeah, I came back with practically nothing. It
was pretty wild.
It was a good baseball crowd, and that's just to be expected. But yeah, you're right. Football was heavy because the Eagles were there. Cooper DeJean was there on Sunday. He was there Saturday and Sunday. So it brought out a lot of the people that knew that they couldn't get Saturday autos. They were there on Sunday, and it was a good mix of baseball and baseball and football.
Agreed.
But literally everything was moving. People were buying wrestling. It was just crazy. Even Bruno will tell you, he usually brings like wrestling photographs, and this is the first time he's moved a couple.
A couple.
And he moved
it was a bunch.
More than a couple. He moved a bunch.
Yeah.
Good. Some wax too.
Wax was moving.
It just brought a big array of people.
Literally, the Pokemon stuff that I brought, that stuff like within 2 or 3 hours, gone.
The first day?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's how it was that's why I brought it up. That's why I asked if it was comparable to FanFest. Because the first day, I had to go back home and get more cards.
It was similar. It was similar. If I had more stuff at home to pick up, if I was there on Friday, I probably would have done the same. Because I would have probably been like, shit, I'm running out of stuff. And probably would have been like, yo, let's go home real quick and get more stuff. Because I did end up bringing more wax from home to sell at the show. Since I was only going on Saturday. So, no, it was a good show. I mean, we can't expect that in September. I think September we're probably going to look at a smaller crowd for sure.
I don't know. We'll see who they bring in. I think that depends. And also, I mean, football's just getting started, and you have a ton of like up and coming quarterbacks that I think could drive that market once the season starts. I mean, especially if like that first, I forget when in September the show is, but if even in the preseason, like you see the preseason in that first week, if you have any that are starting to like really play well, forget it. That show is going to go wild for those cards. So,
and then you also have, it's going to be right after the National, right after FanFest, and then after the draft too. It's the first one after the draft, so you're going to have a couple of players that were just drafted like by the Eagles that might show up. I know Cooper DeJean was there. I don't know if he was there at the September one, but he definitely was there in the December one. So, guys like that they draft, that's your first opportunity to get a cheap auto.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you also have what just happened now with free agency. I know you guys are pulling out all those Daniel Jones cards that you shoved away. Kenny Pickett's.
Yeah, I don't think that stuff's going to have a
I can't. You're too far away.
I said I don't think that stuff's going to have a huge like upswing. Like Kenny Pickett, for example, like I don't think his stuff is going to go through the roof. But people are starting to think like if Sam Darnold can do it, why can't Pickett do it, right?
Or Daniel Jones.
That's what they're banking on. They're trying to get the cheap stuff right now. That's why people are, have been picking up like here and there the Zach Wilson, stuff like that. Because that's what they saw. They saw Darnold. So they're like, and even Geno Smith, to be honest.
Yeah.
They see these guys and they're like, well, I could pick up their cards for autographs for $10-15 right now. Whatever. If they have like some crazy games, there you go. Now you just triple, quadruple your money and that's it. Be done with it. But yeah.
Imagine being the guy that picked up 25 Anthony Richardson slabs on Sunday at the Philly show.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder who that was. Yeah, but what happens with him, right? They just signed Daniel Jones, so are they trying to trade him or what's the deal?
They're both going to compete, and they're both historically prone to get hurt. So if Jones gets the job, it's time to unload Jones. And then once Jones gets hurt or he starts sucking, they bring in AR.
I still think AR is going to get it.
I think so, too.
They did just sign Daniel Jones, right?
Yeah,
right. I
1
don't know,
year,
man.
like 10 mil or something like that, or 14 mil.
I mean, I like AR. I like Anthony Richardson.
Yeah,
so
I do too.
I do think he's going to get that job. I think he's way better than Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
I think Daniel Jones was a farce.
And even Zach Wilson with the Dolphins, right? Like
yeah. There's a chance, man.
Like he's going to play.
Bruno,
There's a chance.
Bruno, you're going to be kicking yourself in the ass that we didn't.
Dude, imagine. I can only imagine. Man.
I mean, I'm not even saying that he's going to be like a Nick Foles come in and win a Super Bowl for the Dolphins. But just imagine it's like a Baker Mayfield situation, Just comes in and just wins.
Yeah.
Or Geno Smith. I mean, he didn't have the best season last year, but the year before, they made the playoffs and everything.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a situation where like, the team's hot, right? Tua's playing his ass off, but then all of a sudden, when they're like, I don't know, 8-3 or 8-2. All of a sudden he gets hurt. Here comes Zach Wilson, who can. He's not that bad. He's not
Remember
that
this.
bad.
Remember this. Tua is one concussion away.
Yeah. That's the problem. But yeah, that's the thing. That's why people are picking up his cards. We'll see.
Are you guys excited? Yeah.
Damn.
Joey Bosa.
Are you guys excited for this?
That's a good move for
this Tom Brady card vault.
What's up?
Are you guys excited for this card vault by Tom Brady?
I mean, it's just him throwing his name in the hat. He's just trying to get involved in the game. I mean, he's been pretty like out there with Ruben and Fanatics and Top, so he's pretty hands on, or at least like willing to participate, which is cool to see. I just think this is just a way for him to, throw some money at it, because maybe just being a part of that, he realized like, oh, there's probably some money to be made, and by putting my name on something, it's going to generate some money. Like, I think they are starting to open up some of those in like malls all of a sudden.
So the American Dream is
American Dream
supposed to be getting one. Here's the thing. So he's since retirement, even before retirement, he was always dabbling in different things. We won't talk about the whole crypto thing, but he's also obviously his stake in the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
A few weeks ago, I saw that he was selling a ton of his watches. So that he was a pretty big, avid watch collector, at least had a collection. And who knows, maybe he's trying to use this into, like you said, listening to Michael Rubin about going into the memorabilia and sports card. He's already had some involvement in it, hanging out at these Topps release parties, going to Fan Fest and all of that. And he probably reminds him of being a kid,
He's a collector. He's also a collector, so yeah, for sure, it's got something to do with it.
Let's be real here, right? It's obviously a fucking money thing, right? Not issue, but he sees that there's a possibility to make some money with that, right? And I don't blame him. If I was an athlete and I was able to get into something like that, seeing that there could be a nice kickback with money and all that, I would absolutely do it. Is he a collector? Sure. I've heard of stuff with him with getting his stuff graded and doing all this stuff, himself, but like, it's still a money game, in my opinion. He's got to be able to invest his money into something, so why not?
I mean, he's not going to do it for free, whether he likes it or not, but it does seem like he does enjoy the hobby. So to me, it just feels like it's a hobby for him, and he is cool with putting some money into it.
Now, how do you feel about the fact that he has the capacity to add to that market because of who he is and signing things? And you understand what I'm saying? Okay, the company goes on there, I'm just going to sign 1,000 helmets and we'll sell them for
that's what I'm saying. He controls that.
Yeah,
he has a lot of control over that. He can right now try to buy all his 2000 contenders autographed PSA 10s and probably find them all, and he can pay out of pocket for all of them, and he can corner the market and just say, I have them all.
Okay.
What do you do at that point, right?
What do you mean? So what?
Then he decides what they sell for.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, though.
You think that Tom Brady with this one investment is going to control the market?
I don't think he's saying, but Fanatics. I think what Kevin is saying is, I think he can do that if he wanted to.
If he wanted to.
I don't think he can do that. I don't think he has that kind of reach. Fanatics,
he has that kind of money.
Not as big of a reach as Fanatics.
No, not as big of a reach as.
Well, he's in with Fanatics.
But that's what I mean.
He can try to find all the PSA 10 2000 contenders, 2001 contenders.
But anybody can.
Not if you don't have the capital for it.
I know, but the point is anybody really can.
Sure, anybody can, but can everybody pay for it?
I mean, there's a bunch of millionaires out there that can.
I understand that.
Even people currently in the game. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you a question. If
Shine will buy them all.
But let me ask you a question. If Tom Brady comes up to you, knowing that you have his rookie card PSA 10 autographed, and says, "Hey, I'll pay you whatever you want for it," right? and let's say you go to the same person and say, hey, I'll pay whatever you want for it, who do you think that person is going to rather sell that card to?
Absolutely, Tom Brady.
You know what I mean? And that's my point.
I don't think that's a big deal.
It's just to say he can if he wanted. He can't have a big.
I'm saying he has
impact.
more of an influence.
Yes, I see what you're saying, but I don't think. I think he's just providing the money. I don't think he's getting involved in the business.
He probably won't. But let's say it goes belly up for whatever reason and it's not working out, he does have a way of bailing it out if he wanted to.
Agreed.
That's basically it.
It's a weird spot. It's a weird spot now, right? Because when we first started getting into this whole breaking game, you never heard of athletes buying their own shit. Like, and if you did, it was like, oh, that's really cool, right? But it was like
there were two that I heard of.
Between. It was few and far between. Like, you never heard of that.
There was the one. There was the one ex. I think he was on the Broncos. Maybe he was at the National a few years ago, before this whole craze. I forget who it was. I think it was the Broncos.
Yeah, I remember the guy that was actually selling cards.
Yes. He's just a regular man.
Yep, I forget his name.
It was him, and then the other guy was the kicker with the Pokemon.
Yeah, but that was later on. That was in 2020. The guy that got Blake's Breaks.
Yeah.
That was way later.
And
I'm talking about when we first started. You never heard of this.
True.
You got
then
AJ
all
Dillon,
of a sudden, it just started happening. All these people were just buying their own stuff.
AJ Dillon is on Whatnot now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some guys on Whatnot now. There's what's his name? Chum Lee is on there too, talking about celebrities. Like, they do this stuff. Some UFC fighters do it.
I like what AJ Dillon does though, because when they send him Panini sends him the cards to sign, he inscribes them and he puts a lot of things that like have to do with the hobby, and it's like, oh, like I'm a buyer if you pull me, like just little shit like that. It's pretty cool.
But I kind of don't like that either, because it's like, all right, so let's say one of these prospects, right? Let's say Jackson Holiday. Let's say he decided that he wanted to sign his Superfractor, and I was like, nah, I'd rather keep this.
I don't think that they have that.
You don't think they'd be able to pay for it and tell Panini, hey, I'm going to keep this? Or tell Topps, I'm going to keep this?
There's probably some binding.
Not a Superfractor. Yeah, maybe like a 99.
Yeah.
If you pull one out, are they going to notice it? I mean,
How
shit,
they
found Aiden O'Connell's National Treasure cards, or I don't remember if it was National Treasures or Immaculate, in a dumpster, unsigned.
That's what I'm saying. How would you ever know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where redemptions come in, right? It's just the players aren't signing, but...
My point exactly. How would you ever know?
Well, the other thing, I don't know if have you guys ever looked at a checklist like on Beckett or on like Break Ninja or anything like that?
Yeah.
Damn, you still use Break Ninja?
I didn't even know that still existed. It used to be cool, but I used to use that to set up my breaks.
That was the tits back then.
So if you ever pay close attention, if you look at like Flawless or Immaculate or National Treasures, if you ever look at those in specific, they'll have like NFL Shields, for example, and they'll list all the players that have NFL Shields. And then they'll say there's like, or they'll say like cleats or gloves. And then it'll be like something along the lines where it'll say 1 of 1 available with the exception of, and then it'll have an asterisk next to like certain players, like not available. That probably means that they sent them out to sign them and they just never came back to them.
Exactly.
I'm just making it, but now it kind of makes sense. Yeah, you do see stuff like that.
You never know. Meanwhile, we're chasing a Superfractor that's never going to make it out into the world.
You guys, speaking of not making it out into the world, you guys want to hear something fucked up? You know those 4 cards that I need for that set, that Upper Deck Icon set? It's possible that those cards were never printed.
I mean, maybe you should reach out to Upper Deck and ask.
Yeah, that's my next move. because I've never seen them at all. Like, and then I reached out. Like, one of them is Rod Woodson, and I reached out to somebody that's like a Rod Woodson collector, and he says that I know about just about every Rod Woodson patch that was ever generated, every game worn, and this did not make it out. I'm like, oh fuck.
But that's the point. It's like, we'll never know.
Yeah.
You'll never know. And it could happen, and that's what sucks.
I mean, but this is why I am against redemptions. That's tough shit. If you can't get the autograph, it shouldn't be included in the checklist. And it is what it is. Like, that's not, I hate
it's a farce.
It is. And I hate that. I think that it should just be the ones that you get back, that's included. Live autos only. Sorry, if it didn't make it back, maybe include it in another set as like a bonus or something. Like, oh, these are 2022 impeccables that are going to be included in this set as like a, they do that all the time as like a backdated thing.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that if they eventually get it and they can get it from the athlete. But I think it should be live autos only. And that's it. And I'm sorry, if you can't get your top guys in that set to send back the stuff, the price is going to go down, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times what happens is, like you said, you're chasing all these big names, and then they end up on redemptions, and then they never sign. And then
you try to put a set together, yeah, it's fucked
stupid.
up.
Yeah, but
the only thing that I think that a redemption would be good for, and like Panini, I haven't seen Panini or really anybody do it. I've seen Upper Deck do it with like election cards, but it's like a redemption that's like, Super Bowl champs, a Super Bowl champ redemption, and you pull this redemption, and then whoever, obviously you can't print it out when the set comes out, but whoever wins the Super Bowl, like Panini will put together a small set of low numbered cards, and obviously they'd have to be sticker autos too. But Panini will have all the autographs that they would include in the set. And it's like, okay, well, who do we have? We have stickers for these guys. We're going to include it in that Super Bowl set.
Well, Panini kind of does that with these select XRCs.
Yeah.
And that's perfect. I think that's great.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that's
what a redemption should be used for.
100%.
Right? And no matter, it's not autoed. It's fine. It doesn't need to be autoed. Right? If it was, even better. Maybe they can start doing that for.
And most of the time, those are available in like 4 months anyway. As soon as the draft is,
you find out in April who gets drafted, and you can start printing. But that's what it really should be used for. Because with this whole autograph thing, man, you just never know, and it is a farce. It sucks. And then, like I said, if the player wants to keep some cards, we'll never know if those cards ever come out. And who's going to stop the player from keeping them?
The only thing I would say to that is exactly what Sergio had mentioned, which is when they get the cards back, it's like a cycle count. They go through it.
Yeah.
And if there's anything missing, then that's where you notate it on the checklist. Like,
it's not
you
a
get
benefit.
this, but you don't get,
it's not a benefit to Panini or Topps, though. They won't do it. It doesn't benefit them anyway. So
look,
it's like me having a customer that says, "Hey, I want to buy 100 of this," and I'm like, "All right, I only have 50, but all right, if I can get the rest, you pay me now, and I'll try to get it out to you."
Well, I'm pretty sure
it's a different situation because then I'm gonna have to refund the person because it's a way different situation. But it's just Panini; they just control that.
I think for the sake of just keeping it honest, they do disclose it.
Agreed.
Right, and they have to. That's why they disclose it. They have to and say that, if we can't redeem this for you, we'll give you something comparison of value.
That's where we get
that's
national white boxes.
Yep. So I think that if a player does ask for cards, I think Panini prints them because, if I'm not mistaken, Bo Nickel was the one that kind of showed us about that, and he had requested a couple cards from I think it was Prism his rookie year, and they sent him some, but the back was stamped with like player copy only or something like that. So it's like just for them. Yeah. So I think they can request it if they really want their cards. It's just, like you said, you never know for everything else.
But they send them all the cards that need to be signed.
Yeah.
They'll send them the 1-on-1, all out of 5s, all out of 10s, all that. They send them all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. The player copy stuff, cool, that's fine. as long as it says player copy on the card. That's like what you call
it's an exclusive. It's like a short
kind of
print.
like a printing. It's kind of like a printing
it's
plate.
not supposed to be out in the market,
Not-
but if the player
not
wants
quite
it
the
and
printing
do something,
plate,
that's
but-
fine. Right. But those cards that are numbered that's supposed to go out into the public, it's still like, again, I go back to it. What stops a player from saying, hey, I want to keep this card? And what if they never just send it back? And then
it is
Panini's
what
going
it
to be
is.
like, fuck. Topps going to be like, fuck, I didn't get it back, but I'm still going to promote that it's in there. You know, it sucks.
Yeah, because they don't do it the way, like, I know you guys noticed that on the back of, like, Upper Deck cards, it'll say it was autograph witnessed by an Upper Deck executive.
Well, that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But they hire Joe Schmoes to be there. They'll hire, like, if they know the person lives in Elizabeth, they may reach out to me knowing I have a card shop, be like, hey, can you go to this guy's house and make sure he signs all this shit? I'd be like, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Did I really go? Who knows?
Who's
I'd be
this
like,
guy?
yo, when he's done signing, I'll pick it all up.
Who's this guy? LeBron James. Never heard of her.
Because that's what they do. The guy that owns Attack of the Baseball cards over here in Union, he's been hired by Topps to go witness autographs.
Yeah, we actually spoke to, I think it was the National, if I'm not mistaken. We spoke to a guy. I don't know if you were with me, Kevin, but
yeah, I remember.
We spoke to a guy who was telling us, because I had a card now that I was selling, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I was there signing.
I was there
watching
when he signed
sign this stuff." So,
oh shit,
yeah,
he was collecting him because he witnessed the autographs.
He witnessed the autograph, and he's like, I think a local or something that he knew. But yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Interesting.
It's Fugazi. Fugazi.
What the heck was that?
You never watched Wolf of Wall Street?
Yes.
It's a Fugazi.
Okay.
You know, Fugazi. Matthew McConaughey. It was great.
That scene was really weird.
I thought it was
I
awesome.
love that movie. I watched it once. We'll never watch it again.
You know, that whole scene was
way too fucking long, man. Way too long of a movie.
I loved
great
it.
movie. But then again, I said the same about The Departed, and I've watched it. If it's on TV, I pick up where it's at.
Wolf of Wall Street's great. That whole scene was almost
ad-libbed.
All ad-lib.
Yeah.
Great.
But. So I know we wanted to discuss this next Greedy Card Show host. I know Lewis sent us something. I'd be curious what he thinks about it. But what's your he ain't here, so he ain't Chit. What's your guys' take on that? Greedy Card Show hosts and how they're manipulating vendors and basically trying to cast them as their puppets and think that, you know, they basically own the show, where we know if it's not for the vendors, there is no show.
You can go ahead, Bruno.
I think it just goes back to greed, man. They get greedy, which turns into ego, cockiness, and all this stuff. So, you know, they just forget about, you know, just the core of the whole thing, which is what you said. I mean, without the vendor, you don't have the show. You kind of rely on the vendor to not only be there and you know, sell stuff and put out some nice things for the people that are walking in, but essentially the vendors are the ones promoting the show for you without asking for anything in return, except, you know, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And so just be grateful for that, you know, don't treat them like crap. And if there is an issue, take them aside and, you know, discuss it like a human being, not berate people in front of all the other vendors and guests and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
customer, yeah.
This basically ties back to one of the show hosts here in New Jersey that, you know, I guess now vendors that attended her show kind of started complaining about it or putting things out. And then what was happening was it was starting to like kind of compile. Others were like, oh yeah, she did this, or she said this to me. She also did this. So then it started to kind of
privately without her knowing.
Yeah.
I think it was like on a Discord.
So I think that started to come into fruition. Like, oh, well, it's not just me. It seems like she's just taking advantage of everybody. So yeah, I mean, you could tell. You start going to shows, you can kind of tell there are hosts that really do care. Some that are pretty good in the beginning and seem like they really care and they're really into it, but then as soon as they start seeing this,
Yeah.
Things start to change. It's less caring about that stuff and more caring about the money, and the greed just starts taking over. And those are the ones that you want to hopefully see phase out. I don't care what show it is. I don't care. Get rid of that show. Hopefully another vendor comes in and is a good person and helps to backfill that. But it's the greed,
Yeah.
man.
How about you, Kev?
I'm kind of stuck with this whole, is it greed? I mean, people that start card shows, the number one priority, in my opinion, for them is making money, right? And you can't blame them for that, right? Because you want to make money. You don't throw a card show because you love the hobby and you just want people to enjoy doing a card show. In my opinion, I think the reason why people throw card shows is because they want to make money. I've never had a card show. I've never, we've talked about the idea about throwing one. And to me, the biggest reason to have a card show is to make a little bit of money. Because I'm not going to spend all my time trying to set this show up because it's a lot of work. And we don't see it because we're not setting the whole thing up, but I'm sure it's a lot of work. Now, greed, if you have a good reputation and you've been doing the show for years, does greed sometimes become a thing? I'm sure it does. People are going to start, trying to, I'm not saying kick people out of their shows that are maybe giving them a hard time, but I can see greed being a thing. But in the end of the day, we also got to remember that they're throwing the card show because they want to make money, and they're not going to cater to all the vendors, because if you cater to every single vendor, you're going to pull your hair out. You know what I mean? I can see that happening. I can see myself getting, distraught and upset with vendors because one vendor wants this, the other vendor wants it this way. It's a lot of egos, and it's a lot of people saying, "Hey, I want things this way. I want to do this. I want to do that," and you can't cater to all of them. You just can't. It's like running a business. You have to do it your way or the way that you think is best and run with it, right? So I can't really say that I think people that run card shows are being greedy. We just did the Philly show. That guy does a great job with that show, but he's been doing it for 30 years and he does it the way he wants to do it. And nobody complains because it's his way or no way.
Yeah.
Why can't we leave before 3:00? Because he says so. I don't like that idea. But am I going to go out there to him and bitch? No, because then I might not have the table on the next show. Is that greed? Or is that just him wanting to run it the way he wants to run it?
Well, that's you as a vendor making a conscious decision, but that host isn't going up to you and berating you in front of people.
No,
That's
the berating I don't agree with. I've
Yeah,
never seen people get
that's fucked
berated
up.
in shows. Maybe that stuff happens in the back end that I've never seen it.
I've seen it.
Yeah, no, if it happens, yeah, no, I would absolutely not berate somebody in front of anybody. That's not my style anyway.
I stopped doing a show because of that. And it wasn't even towards me. I stopped doing a show because I saw a showrunner pretty much berate people. It was the main thing was coming in late. And again, like, this was at a time where the show, where like parking was really complicated, where you had to park far away and then lug your stuff. And I mean, we've all done it. I did one show where I had to lug my hand truck through like double what we walked to get to my car, Kev, on Sunday.
No. Well, listen,
and I was setting
agree.
up there.
I agree. Berating is not something that I agree with. If it's just that, fine. But if we're talking, we can't really say berating and greed in the same sentence, right? Because the greed is something else. The greed is you're talking about the person wanting to make money and trying to maximize their profits. I can't argue. I can't blame the showrunner for wanting to make as much as possible. Now, if they're being assholes and berating vendors, yeah, fine. I get that. They're going to ruin themselves because you're right, Bruno. The vendors are the ones that really promote their show and do all they can to be successful at those shows. And the showrunner is the one that's going to profit off of that from having the vendors there. Berating, I don't agree with. Greed, I can't really say greed is a thing, because for me, greed.
What about ego?
Everybody has egos. Like if the person is so egotistical and they're going to sit there and berate vendors, yeah, fine, fuck them. I'm not about that. But I can't say that greed is one thing that would stop me from wanting to do a show with somebody. As long as they're putting on a good show, fuck it. They can make all the money they want. I don't care about that. As long as I'm doing my thing and they're not giving me a hard time, that's fine with me.
I think so. The video that we saw, a lot of it had to do with the extension of a booth that was issued, like a workspace. So again, the guy's whole thing was, well, what's considered? What am I issued? Am I given like a 10x10 space, or am I given 2 tables? And then it's like I think he had like a small like 2x2 table next to the table, and then he had a corner. So it's almost like he extended like a 6-foot table to be an 8-foot table.
A 2x2 table? What the fuck?
Yeah, it was literally that. Like something very small like that.
A 2-foot table?
Yeah. So you know how you butt 2 tables together, kind of like what you guys had. Instead of what they did is they didn't butt them, but then put another table there, so it would be a long like one longer table.
Oh.
So apparently this showrunner got all bitchy about it and said that she wanted more money over it, or.
Gotcha.
But again, it doesn't really say, hey, with the price of you're paying for a table. It's not you're paying for a space, or none of that is ever clear.
Yeah.
Well, some shows it is.
Yeah.
Some shows
say 2 tables. Some shows say 10x10. It all depends. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all the same shit. In my opinion.
Agreed.
Yeah, man. Again, if vendors, if these people that are doing card shows, it's a lot of work.
It is.
I can't knock their hustle and trying to make money. But yeah, the berating, yeah, fuck that. If I was berated by a vendor, or by a showrunner, I'd probably punch him in the face and leave.
I'd stand out in front of the door and give people $5.
But again, to me, it's 2 different things. Completely different subjects. I don't really consider berating being greedy.
Yeah, but it's with the showrunners, they do have to be careful because of the influence that the vendors do have. They have big social media followings, and it's not a great show to begin with. The one that we're talking about. So
yeah. I mean, I think we all know which one we're talking about. I've never done it. I don't know if Bruno has, but
I have not.
I almost did it. I just never did it because it never really worked out for me. But in terms of time, but it is what it is. I mean, we've had bad experiences. We've had good experiences. I think for the most part, it's all been good. A couple of bad here, 1 or 2 here and there, but Bruno and I have never been berated by a showrunner.
What the fuck?
Not that I know of.
Well, Bruno would never be berated for tardiness.
Fuck no. Neither would Danny. Danny's there, dumb prompt.
If Danny did the Clark show, he would have slept over here.
But honestly, like, if you're late to a show, who cares? It's your problem, not theirs.
It's not a good look. I get that.
That I get. It's mainly, like, it's one thing if you're walking around with your briefcase and you're walking in late, but if you're walking in with an entire hand truck,
trying
to get people are trying to get through aisles,
yeah.
that I can understand.
Yeah, and you also, as a showrunner, you want the presentation to be on point when the show starts. Like, if you've got tables that are bare, it's really not a good look when people are walking in. So I get that. I would be pissed. Yes, you're paying for the table. By saying like, who cares? I disagree with that. I think you should care. And if it's a vendor that does that, maybe give them a warning on the side at first for the next show. But if they do it again, that's it. I'd be like, you're not coming back to this show, my friend. That's why
I think the Philly guys, or I don't know if it's one guy or a team, they do a great job with that. Because you know what? If I'm him, and my rule is you can't leave before the show's over, no matter how much you hate it, he won't come up to you and say, hey, you suck. He'll make a note. And next time you want a table, he's going to be like, well, you left early last time and you know the rules. You might not have your table this time around.
Yeah.
And that's perfect. I think that's great. I think that's the right way to do it.
Because not only it's not punishing somebody, it's just basically, hey, you have rules you got to follow, because there's a ton of guys waiting to get in.
Yes,
exactly.
Yep.
And the way they look at it, it's like, all right, well, yeah, you could be grandfathered in. You could have done the last 10 years of this show, and you're paying. Who knows? Maybe those guys are still paying old rates to do this show. If he's been running it for 30 years and he's had the same guy, selling vintage for 30 years, I guaranteed he's not paying what you guys are paying, or
Maybe.
anybody that comes in off the street.
Maybe,
probably not.
It doesn't matter. Those guys, they deserve to have a little bit of
exactly. But you have guys that would kill to get a table and table space, and they can't get in because you have people not following rules.
Yep. Agreed.
So a couple of different takes there.
Yeah.
Makes for good podcast.
Some good reels, maybe.
All right, now let's drop the names. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not doing it. There is one show in particular that I am not allowed to do. Kat will not let me do this show. I won't do it because of the way that this promoter and multiple people that I've spoken to have also stopped or have said the same thing about this one specific show. Not going to say who it is, though.
Mm-hmm.
He's out.
Yep.
I think I just lost
connection.
We got to screenshot this. This is great.
Are you guys on there?
You just froze for like 20 seconds.
Wait, so you guys didn't hear who I said who it was?
Oh, you did it on purpose. All right. I like that.
No, I didn't do it on purpose. I just noticed that my connection went down. Guest appearance from Teddy. Oh man, we still got quite the list.
What else we got? I mean, we're almost at an hour here.
Go to the chat.
We can start wrapping up real quick, but we could carry it over.
There's one on here that
Kevin's dying to talk about it.
All right, go ahead, Kev.
Which one? Which one? The hats?
Yes.
By the way, I sent the text to my siblings and said, your job is to locate these hats. I want the one.
I gotta find it.
Yeah, just look. It's called the overlay. Yeah. I was gonna say crossover.
But I don't know what New Era was thinking. They decided to release these new caps like they do every year. This year, they decided to do an overlay. And I'm sure a lot of people have seen them already.
I can't find it.
Overlay New Era.
Houston Astros overlay, or like Texas Rangers.
Rangers or Angels. Yeah, if you look up, it comes up because like even TMZ covered it. People Magazine covered it. It's huge
they covered
news.
It? That's funny.
Yeah. Actually, the link that I sent my siblings was.
Did I break the news to you? Did you not know about it?
I had no idea. And I'm pissed.
I was the Adam Schefter of hats.
Yeah, I got the dun-dun-dun.
So while Bruno's looking for it, so New Era decided to release these caps, which I'm not a big fan of regardless, no matter what they look like, because that's perfect.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's a good look. It's just putting the logo up over like the team name or the city. But they did a terrible job with their cue.
Make sure you sign up
on how these hats look.
So it's not a terrible concept. Only two things. Number one,
it looks sloppy in my opinion.
They should have made the logo a different color from the name.
Yes, agreed. And
then for the teams that have a letter for the logo, they really should have paid a little more attention to what that would do to the word.
So if we're looking at this right now, so the Houston Astros have the Astros in the background with an H smack dab in the middle of TNR. So it looks like the AsHos.
You know what that reminded me of in Meet the Fockers,
where the
little kid learns how to say
AsHos. This one's great in my opinion as well. Because it's just the A in the middle of the name as well. I don't know how they didn't notice. So it's the Los Angeles Anals. The Athletics one, I don't really see anything crazy about that, so that's fine. But my favorite, without a doubt, is the Texas Rangers. With the T right over the X. And my Spanish Latino community will love this. It's the TeTas.
I want that hat so bad.
I would absolutely wear that hat.
There's one on eBay. It's not my size. It's a 7.5, but there's one on eBay.
$200?
$1,000.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're pulling them off the shelves.
I might actually run over to Lids tomorrow and see if they might have one.
They're probably gone. They're probably gone.
Yeah. But
that is so great.
This is just terrible quality control.
How does it just slip through, man?
You're looking at the
designs, you just don't see it, and it gets passed from one person to another. Like it just goes through departments to get this stuff approved.
It goes from the designer. I mean, it starts at the designer, and then moves its way up. I would love to have a hat that just says TeTas.
TeTas. The anals is pretty good too. I like the
anals is good, especially how it has that little ring, being protruded.
That's the best part. They have the little halo. Man, that's too good. But it was only those 3 teams that really caused a ruckus. Everybody else is. But even the A's, it looks so sloppy.
Yeah, it looks terrible.
And even worse on them is that the A's aren't called the Athletics anymore.
They're not.
They are just the A's.
Really?
Yeah, because since they're moving from Oakland, they decided to change their name. So they did what the Commanders did a couple of years ago, where they just called themselves the Washington Football Team. So the Athletics are just known as the A's. They're not the Athletics. They're not the Oakland A's. They're just the A's. So terrible job on them from not even catching that.
I love it. Well, it gave us some content.
I thought that I called Bruno right away. I'm like, we got to talk about this. It's hilarious.
That was great. Yeah, we were heading to dinner, and I'm looking, and I'm like, I got to get my hands on a hat. I got to get that Texas hat because we do the ballpark. Her family's trying to visit all the ballparks, and anytime I go, that's why I have a Rockies hat. I have a Pittsburgh hat. I'll be getting a Brewers hat this year, but I would get the TeTas one. So when we do Texas, I'm ready for it.
Perfect.
That's like I don't know if you guys ever see me wear that hat that says Kona on it.
Yeah.
It's the Kona Surf Shop in Wildwood.
Yeah,
but it's basically the same thing. I love this one, man.
That's good stuff.
If anyone finds one, I'm a 7 3/4. I'm a buyer.
Hey, you pay $1,000, you can get one.
Paying $1,000. I want it, but not that much.
I just thought that was hilarious.
And that was really good.
It just goes to show, man, quality control ain't quality, because I don't understand how that goes through the whole system with nobody saying, maybe we should think about this.
And I'll be honest, a lot of times I'm not big on fancy designs or even this one, the patch is a little too big in my opinion. But any New Era's constantly they have these silhouettes where it's just the eagle, but just a line in green. I'm not, or hat that's not even the team color. I'm not buying a green Yankee hat.
I know exactly what to get you for your birthday, Serge. Not the TeTas hat. I'm going to get you a hat, an Eagles hat, that spells out ESLGLES.
Wouldn't be surprised if they make it.
They have to have that.
Were you guys there? Or, well, I think it was Friday, so Bruno, did you hear that would have been in the autograph pavilion, but they had an MC, and when Jalen Hurts was ready to come out, he's making his Philly show debut. Everyone, give me before we bring him out. Let's everyone give me. I'll start it off. Give him a great Eagles chant. I'll start it off, and he's like, hey, and then everyone else started going, and of course they did that. That's going to be the thing next year.
Yeah.
At the games, forget the regular spelling.
Yeah.
You saw it at the parade.
Yeah, that was Friday. I remember hearing that. Good stuff.
We definitely got to make one for Sergio.
Oh, there it is.
That was when I sent the hat notification.
Kevin Schefter. What about this, guys? Real or fake?
Fake. I told you why.
No idea.
She claims it's real. It's one of those Yu-Gi-Oh! This thing is all fucked up.
It's real,
Jesus
just like a
Christ.
$7 bill.
Look at that.
Warped as F.
Yep. Red Eyes Bee Dragon.
Well, I told you my opinion on it.
That's more of the, I think that came from the Yu-Gi-Oh set.
Do you think that's a Marroquino card? A gypsy card?
You definitely got that at the Praça.
Yeah. What do you mean it's not real? I bought it at the Feta.
What else we got? What else we got?
Got Chit.
Those are some other topics.
Jacob DeGrom, Hall of Famer?
Yeah,
No
we don't
idea.
have to- we don't
No
have to waste
idea
our
why
time
that's on there.
Because I was listening to guys talk about it, and I was like, it's probably something cool to talk about for 2 minutes.
It's probably more of a you and Lewis.
I was going to say,
conversation.
yeah, I couldn't tell you. I remember him being good like 10 years ago for one
Like 3
season.
years ago.
That's what I remember. See, even Teddy doesn't want to talk about DeGrom.
Yeah.
Now, we don't talk about the Grom in this household. He hears the Grom, he goes nuts, see?
Yep.
What's the deal with these Prism WNBA defects?
It's color blasts. Their color blasts have like
Are colorblind?
color craps. They have like a line going across.
Like a print line?
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull up examples.
Across like the middle of it?
Yep.
That sucks.
It's like on everything.
Right. So Yu-Gi-Oh card fake, right? Yu-Gi-Oh card fake. Sorry. I don't see any gold. It's just silver. It's just like the upper deck foil.
Definitely fake.
Yeah, definitely fake.
And it says first edition on it?
Bruno says this isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! It's Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's definitely.
And it says first edition on it?
No. Yeah, it does.
It says first edition?
It says first edition.
Yeah. Sorry.
That card's fucking old.
I don't care if it's old. Yeah, it's old and fake.
It's not fake. I'm sending it in.
You're sending it into who? Send it.
Look it up. Just look it up on Google. Just type in first edition silver foil Yu-Gi-Oh.
Send
Look
it.
up for.
You'll see right away.
You got to send it to Tag. They'll send you a detailed report.
Unfortunate.
I can't find
Unreal.
examples of the color blast.
Well, is it on every color blast?
It's on a lot of them. Let me see. Yeah. I just seen a bunch of people like posting about it that are upset because it's popping
Is
up
it on
like
the-
way too often.
Is it in the Prism set or is it in the Monopoly set? Because I see they have some color blasts in the Monopoly set too.
I think it's Prism. The regular.
The regular.
I think so.
I'll tell you what. I it's one card that I'm yet to own. Love the color blast card. It's got to be the Prism though, not the like the Obsidian or any of the
That
other
one's
ones.
cool too, but yeah, the white background with the
Yeah.
splash is legit.
Yeah.
I had a Roman Reigns that I actually sold this weekend.
Yeah.
I remember that one. Yeah.
I'm trying to get a
Okay.
Triple H one. That one's
People
nice
been
too.
buying people were buying crazy shit this weekend, man.
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
I'm not a
Pop
fan.
culture, like I was selling a bunch of stuff. The Pokemon was flying.
I'm not a fan of this year's Prism color blast for football either. The duels.
Nah, I don't like that.
I don't like that.
That's the downtowns, isn't it?
No, they're
Isn't it
the.
downtowns of duels?
No, I think they're the color blasts.
Is it? I thought it was downtown duels.
Well, the downtowns aren't out yet this year. They are for Donruss. That's right.
It's the
Yeah,
duel.
I think, and then they also started doing it like in the background where like the hash lines on the field were like
Yeah.
Sideways.
not the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're saying it's AI generated.
Yeah, it's like they generated an AI image and just rolled with it.
It's terrible.
Quality control
Yeah.
ain't quality.
Panini's pumping out this shit way too quick and not
They
taking a
have
second
to.
look.
They're trying to capitalize.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
definitely
Dude.
have to.
You know what I'm surprised with? This guy came up to me at the show with 2 downtowns for baseball. A Mickey Mantle and a Ken Griffey Jr. downtown from 3 and 2, Panini 3 and 2, which is the equivalent to like Panini 1
Yeah.
and Panini 101. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, I didn't know what they were going for because I've never bought any of them. I looked it up on eBay or on 130 Point. The mantle was going for like almost $1,000 raw. I'm like, what the? Panini Baseball. No logos. You're talking about Panini Baseball. And the Griffey was like $750. I'm like, what the? How's this? Like, I was dumbfounded. I was thinking like maybe, anywhere from like $300 to $500 each.
Yeah.
That would have made sense to me.
You were thought maybe it was like kind of like the stained glass. You know how baseball has the stained glass that weren't shit, but their case hits.
Yeah.
In Mosaic for football.
I was dumbfounded. I mean, I offered the guy $1,300. He didn't take it for both. But I was like, what the, like, how is this even like? Because you can get like, and the thing is, they're not even rookies. It's Griffey and Mantle, granted, top names in baseball history, but like you can get a, I think it was it Paul Skeens? No, it wasn't Paul Skeens. It was like some I think Dylan Cruz maybe was going for like $400 or $500. He was like a top prospect, the number 1 pick in the draft 2 years ago. And I'm like, how is this not worth as much considering it's a rookie card? I don't know. I was just literally dumbfounded.
Maybe the value of unlicensed is coming up now.
But you think about it, CJ. What's more valuable right now? If you're going to buy,
I'll be honest. Between those two cards, I'm surprised at the Griffey. I'm not surprised at the Mantle. I mean, it's like kind of like the same thing as like a. I would consider that licensed or not, it's still a Mantle downtown.
Right, but what's worth more? What's worth more, a CJ Stroud rookie downtown, or a John Elway or a Peyton Manning downtown?
Unfortunately, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get it makes sense.
A Jackson Smith in Jigba is worth more than a Dan Marino downtown at this point.
And that was my thought process, but I'm
just
wrong.
Thinking, like if you said that it was like Ken Griffey Jr. and then the other one that went for $1,000 was like a
Paul Skeens.
No, I'm thinking of like just not Mickey Mantle, or like a Derek Jeter, for example.
Okay.
It's like, all right, well, I'm surprised that they'd go for that much. But Mickey Mantle, I'm not surprised goes for that much. Because, again, when was the last time you saw Mickey Mantle printed on...
No, I get it.
What's considered like a case hit. But the Griffey, yeah, absolutely. For the home field, I think that's Panini prices.
No, it's not the home field. It's the actual downtowns.
Oh, they're actual downtowns? They're not home?
They're actual downtowns.
Okay, so...
Yeah. They're case hits. It's Panini 3 and 2 case hits.
So how does I've never opened up 3 and 2? Does it come with like a short print card? Because I'm kind of comparing it to 1 and 1. Like we know we get with 1.
It does come with
1 card.
I think it does come with like a parallel, and then I think
there's multiple cards in there though. There's
I think so.
There's like 6 cards. There's like 6 cards in there. It's not the one card and the. So it's literally 3 and 2.
Maybe
it's
5 cards. Yeah.
But I think it's 6. It's either 5 or 6.
And then what's the wrestling one called? 3 count?
3 count.
I'll tell you what, they get clever with the names. It's pretty cool. What about WWE Flawless? That any good?
Did it come out yet? I think it did, right?
Panini's doing WWE?
Yeah.
Isn't it Topps?
It was their last. That was the last product. It was a Flawless, and then they did Topps Chrome.
I thought it came out already.
Yeah, it did come out. It did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. I don't remember. I'm not a fan of Flawless anyway.
Well, it's down right now, Flawless.
Just overpriced.
It's way overpriced.
It is, but it's shitty that, the cost of the box is what it is, and then, like, the cards that are pulled out of it.
Yep. $10.
Yep, if that sometimes. Horrible.
You guys would laugh if you saw what I picked up last week. Hold on, let me turn off my internet connection.
What you picked up?
Kadarius Toney, Flawless with the ruby diamond.
You love those weird things. You love those weird local things.
$3.
Daniel Jones, rookie patch from Flawless.
Yeah, but that's fine. I mean, I don't
Kyle
blame you for getting something.
Pauletta, rookie
Terrible.
patch auto from Flawless. And then my latest, where the fuck is it? Oh, I put it in the case already. A Miles Sanders in an Eagles uniform.
I feel like he still has a little bit of value, though.
Yeah.
He was dropped by Carolina today, so. But yeah, just shit like that because it's show appeal.
Kyle Oletta is shit.
And listen, at the end of the day, I can always open it up and pull the diamond out.
I don't think it's a real diamond. Is it?
It's supposed to be a real diamond. It's guaranteed by Panini.
Oh, that's right. It is. It is guaranteed. That's right.
Yeah, but I think there was some debate about that a few years ago. And I think
I'll take their asses to court.
No, if they're guaranteeing it, it has to be real.
I'm actually surprised that there isn't somebody out there. Maybe I'm giving somebody a good idea. But somebody that buys those low-end Flawless cards, pulls out the diamonds, and then does something else with them on a card.
The diamond's so small.
Well, you got to get a bunch of them.
I guess.
See, Teddy agrees. Guys don't know.
I mean, if you're on a budget, you could just get a Kyle Loletta card with a diamond. You know, pull the diamond out, put it on a ring, and there you go.
Here, I got the ring already.
True that.
Right
there you go.
Let's fill it with real stones.
Shut up.
Yugi, uh-oh. Is that going to be the name of the episode?
I'm curious to see what Bruno uses for the opener.
I already know what it is.
It's going to be the TeTas thing.
It's going to be you going, TeTas!
Yep.
It's going to be the name of the podcast, too. New
Maybe.
Era TeTas?
Man, this was a fun one.
AsHos.
Yeah. This was a good one, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to get some more reels.
And it's always better without Lewis.